I would never just put a sign out front that said sale. I would rather take a creative opportunity whenever there is one. You know, I'm thinking, how do I do something unique here? How do I do something that'll stand out? I think in any business, but especially specialty or luxury retail, you know, it's important for me to not only use a black and white, data-driven goal to communicate with the customer. I would rather communicate with them in a creative way. The whole point of Cloak Dapper is this experience of quality and authenticity. So we really pay attention to fine details. I love carrying heritage brands, people that have been making jeans the same way for 100 years or cutting leather for the same way for 100 years, while in addition to that, carrying newer brands that do it the old-fashioned way. So when we do things here creatively, it has to have that authenticity, it has to have that story. I have a big passion for educating the customer when they're in here if they're not quite sure what they're walking into. It's fun to be able to tell a story and be like, oh cool, let me show you this. And you know how this always happens with your shirts, it always starts to get loose or the threads always come out here? Well, with this, they made sure that won't happen, and let me show you, and I can open up the shirt and show that. Like little details like that, approaching product and retail in that way, story first. So if I'm gonna sell products, I want that to include an experience with it. I spend a lot of time creating, you know, how that communication will be represented, design-wise, how it will look. I set up the merchandising in the store with a lot of antiques, a lot of old pieces. It was very much inspired by industrial era brass plates on the outside of buildings. Now I have the address on them. Architecture, like the Flatiron Building in New York. It almost just, in a way, secretly tells the story of the brand. In kind of transitioning into the business world or my career, I almost forgot about that creative side, but there was always that itch, and I always had to be doing something to scratch it. And so having Cloak Dapper is like a constant way to pay attention to that and scratch that itch. My name is Calvin Cearley, and I created Cloak Dapper, located right here in Orlando, Florida.